This rule cost me over $18,000 last week. What's the simple rule? So simple, so easy. Now, when you're trading from algo, one of the famous rule for picking a trade is to always remember that no inducement, no trade. If there's no inducement, you should not pick a trade. Why? Because number one, it will save you from picking stupid trades and it's going to give you a very good risk to reward. All right. So last week was so crazy. I was in a sell. From this moment, I was in a sell from around this level. I was targeting this low as my final TP. And then price came all the way. It took me a long time to realize that this was an inducement and price was rejecting from this classic scenario level. And then poof, it was until this breakout happened that I had that moment of failure, that moment where I lost money. And if you know me so well, sometimes I do decide to trade without a stop loss. And that was very crazy because Trump blew my account. All right. So no inducement, no trade. Let me show you a few examples of what I mean. So from last week's price action, you can see this was technically an inducement trade. Price came, induced the last low before the main low, followed from this classic scenario level, and then up to the upside. So the target, which was very, very decent. And that's why on this retracement, so that it was a good buy from here, because price has taken the high over here, price has taken the low. This is true break of structure on this guy. So on this inducement, this is a proper buy up to this point. So no inducement, no trade. The same thing happened here. Proper logic, this is the last low, so we have change of character from over this point. This now becomes a structural I for inducement. So price came, induced that level, which is pretty sick. Same thing here, so price came, induced that level, sorry, so sick. But I really have to show you that inducement. You see that? Price induced it. Let's take this off. Right, so price induced the level, and one of the things you find when you start to prioritize inducement is that a lot of this inducement area fall into an higher time frame SNL level. So it's a rinse and repeat. It's what the market does. Just wait for inducement, wait for MSU. See price takes the high over here, see the low was taken. There's a true break of structure on this retracement. You can pick your buy to the upside. The same thing over and over again. See the low was taken here, see here internally the high was taken. Okay, inducements will always come. So it is essential for you as a trader, even if you trade blindly SNR, even if you trade EGs, even if you trade whatever you trade, to always consider inducements. Okay, so inducement happens, you can see an engulfing front on the H1 and just break out over at this point. So on this retracement, you repeat this to the downside. Okay, so you repeat over and over again. The same thing happened yesterday's price action. See the low and then the high was taken, and after the high was taken, you'd see on M30, M15, it was double breakouts, right? You see first break over here. First break, either. Oh my gosh, when I opened. Right. So you see first break and then you see second break. And the same thing repeats itself over and over again. Why? Because price would always take inducement. So the low was taken, yeah. So the high was taken. You see this is a true break of structure at this point. So on this retracement, again, inducement liquidity. Alright. The high was induced and beautiful target on the downside. Why is this a target? Because there's a draw of liquidity on that area. Why is there a draw of liquidity on that area? Because price had left so much efficiency behind. Okay, price had left so much efficiency behind. All right, as you can see, there's just so much efficiency right here. So there's a drawn liquidity for price to possibly come and tap this particular SNR level. So that's one of the main reasons why one of the main this one. So that's one of the main reasons why you have your target on that low. So there's a logic for everything. There's a reason why you want to pick a trade. There's a reason why you're doing this, you're doing that. What you don't want to do as a trader is to pick a trade today that follows bad logic, because a day would come when you pick that same trade and to end up in a loss. Oh yeah, losses are part of the game, but yeah, there's some really stupid ones like the one I took last week. All right, so let me show you more internal examples. So we dive into M15, just more internal examples, and then we cut this video short. All right, let's see from last week. Okay, you can see this beautiful one. I think this is going to be the last one. All right, so here we go. So if you look over at this place, that this particular time frame, oh shit, yeah, got it. So if you look over at this time frame, right, one of the things you notice is we had an inducement of this high, and afterwards, another important rule, which I'm going to talk about in another video, is never trade internal structure unless there's an MSU. Okay, so you see price takes the low over here, takes the high. This is a true break of structure over here. And on this reaction, if you follow, you'd see that price reacted from this gap level somehow, from that gap level. So when price retraced into this true structural leg, you can see the 2-time break, first break, your second break, even more than 2-time break. So you can pick a sell from here, and obviously this will be your first target. Why is this case different from this case? Because for this case, there was a draw on the buy side liquidity. So you must always know. That's why no matter how low you go as a trader, the highest time frame will always do the trick. Okay, because on the daily at the time, there was a classic scenario sitting pretty from Thursday. That was created on Thursday. So again, you must know where the draw is. So when you know where the draw is, you can see a very pretty classic scenario over here, which was one of the reasons why we had that inducement at the time. So you must know where the draw is. When you know where the draw is, you see that very pretty. It has not been tapped. Yeah, so it's internal tap, so it's a proper tap. So you must know where the draw is. So when you know where the draw is, you're able to differentiate. And that's what makes this different from this. And the crazy part is a lot of traders would have taken a sell from this engulfing and would have been weaked out right here. And probably be too shallow or too weak to enter a proper sell from here, which is fine. We all make mistakes, right? Stupid mistakes, we all do. All right. So I'll leave you with this singular rule. No inducement, no trade. And the moment you can picture this out, it's going to save you from taking stupid pattern trades that you've been taking and you've been taking over and over again. But the problem is there are days it works and there are days you have to shit your pants out.